I'm Matt Buell with M Buell Studio, and on behalf of the Woodworking Network, as your Young Wood Pro host, it's monthly topic time. So, in a perfect world, or at least my perfect world, there is a field full of lumber being chopped down just for me right now, right outside that door. That's also going to be loaded into a kiln right outside that door. And it's all going to be moved right in here for me by some random strange people right through the door. And then they're going to hang out and just move it around for me and lift it and deal with it as I see fit. And then there's a white glove delivery service sitting at the other door, just waiting on me whenever I'd like. Unfortunately, that's not the real world, and I've never experienced such a thing. So, monthly topic time, it is logistics. And for you young wood pros, it's something that gets overlooked often when you're starting out. You know, think about all these kind of intricate things that go on besides just the woodwork. So we're going to talk about logistics, the procurement and obtaining your supplies, how you're storing your supplies, how they're integrating into your workflow, and also how you're getting your pieces out to where it's supposed to go, hopefully on time. So here we go. So how do you source your materials? Are you going and picking it up? Are you having it delivered? Is there a right answer? No. It really depends on the model of your business and what it is you're making. But either way, it is important to come up with something dependable and consistent that works for you. So you need to look at what the value of your time is if you're spending time running and picking stuff up, especially lumber. As a small shop owner, I do both. It really depends. I will go pick up lumber, but what I've found is I schedule like 1 or 2 days a month. Those are lumber days. Every now and then you have to make an exception, but that way it's planned on, and so things can accumulate. I'm getting everything I need in one run. It's quick. Unloading it's not as fun. But delivery I also utilize as well, especially when it comes to sheet goods and stuff like that. If I'm ordering larger amounts for larger jobs, I absolutely take advantage of delivery. So a lot of it's going to come down to what works for your business model, but also where you live. You know, if you live in a more rural area like I do, having a truck or at least a large van it's a lifeline. I have to have it. But if I'm living in a large city like Chicago or New York, that might not suit your lifestyle having a vehicle, and delivery services there are a lot more common. So I encourage you to just explore what those options are and what they best look like for you in getting dependable, consistent, fair price materials. And as much as I have over the years of doing this, I encourage you to be open-minded and always look for new suppliers. I will say it is in your best interest to have one or two that you can rely on. And by the way, don't be afraid to check the moisture content in lumber. An honest business doesn't mind. So when I find a supplier that's consistent, you know, they're stocking domestics, I'm more prone to pick them. You know, their price point's good, the lumber's dry, and you build a rapport. So a little easier to get that stuff bumped up in the delivery schedule if you know, you become friends. So also there are other supplies in woodworking besides just lumber, but with modern era of delivery services, most of those they're available to everybody. But once again, it's important that you look at your model and determine what supplies you need to always have coming in versus which ones are per customer, and come up with a way that is obtaining them efficiently. Okay, so most of the time when you say logistics, people think about, you know, shipments and deliveries, right? I mean, there's people that's their job and they work in like trucking. But it also applies to the flow in your shop, storage, you know, how you're going back and forth and moving material throughout your workspace. So I break it down into a couple simple things. One, I have a long-term storage and short-term storage. So if I'm getting lumber that maybe it needs to air dry for a while, I actually have buildings or containers available to me outside of this building where they can sit, dry, and do their thing, and I'm not tripping over them. So I have long-term storage, or maybe I just come across a good deal or free lumber that I like and have it milled up. It's got a space to go. If it doesn't have an immediate or very soon opportunity to make me some money, it's going into storage because I don't need my way. And then I have short-term storage, like this thing right here. This is simple. Plywood comes in. I usually, if it's coming in for a job, it's staying on like a centipede table or something, and I'm just pulling it off there and going right to the saw. But whenever I have a couple left over, it's not long-term. It's just I need it to get to the side. I built this little bin just to kind of run in there and out. So it's easy. You just pull it in, get it out. And it's not hard to get up on a cart. But that's how I look at the logistics inside of workspace. My doors and the way I've laid out all my machinery is in that spirit. It comes in the doors, and I have two doors, and in between these two doors is all my heavier machinery, joiner, table saw, planer, bandsaws. It's all right there in reach. So I'm not having to run across my big building to come back carrying one board to make a cut. It's all right here. So I want you to think about, how you are working on your shop layout. And we've talked about this before with workflow and process, but now we're integrating logistics into it. I know it's a lot to chew. That's why I'm doing this one topic at a time, but they all do play together. So you need to think about that, the logistics of your shop. If you've got people working for you, that's a whole different set of variables to add in there, and how you're utilizing them as employees to help everything move the way it should. Equally as important as being organized and efficient, dealing with the logistics on things coming in. Maybe even more important, to be efficient with your logistics on things going out. And for the years I've been doing this, I always there's this little bitty thing in the back of my mind. I kind of envy the professionals who make like small goods. And that's what they do. They just make lots of small stuff. Because shipping on that is, it's work. I'm not knocking it. But man, it's not building crates and lifting and delivering, and it's just mail carrier. I envy them. We all got our thing we're good at. I'm a furniture guy. And so when we're looking at logistics, the goal here is you got to get it to where it needs to go as quick as possible without damaging it, right? Because that's how we get paid. And there's different ways to go about it, and everyone has different types of clients. Clients, whether they're long range or if they're short range and regional. When I first started out, most of my clients were very regional, and I spent most of it just delivering it myself and bribing or begging friends to help me lift it and carry it. And I still do every now and then, but usually it's got to be something that only me and one person have to do, and it's within 20 minutes. I don't mess with it. Over the years, I've gotten to where my logistics are dealt with simply when it comes to furniture delivery. I'm going to put it in my contract and in my bid how much the moving service costs, and I'm going to let them come pick it up and take it and put it in place, because I'm more valuable in here building stuff. I have a very particular skill set that takes years to develop. There's a lot more people that are capable of just moving the stuff, and so I let them do their job, and it helps me do my job. But the logistics behind that is you've got to start making contact with moving companies for regional deliveries. Now we get outside of regional deliveries and we're looking at real shipping. I have shipped all over the place, and I always build my own crates. I don't care if it takes a little more time or not. I don't care. I know my crates are built like tanks, and when they get stuck in a warehouse in New Jersey for a week, they are sealed and they're good. I lose less sleep. That is worth it to me. So I encourage you, if you're getting into a situation where you're going to be doing a lot of actual shipping and you're doing crating, you need to go ahead and start making some calls, getting online, finding out what kinds of things are involved in finding the right carrier for you. What I did was I got online, did a little reading, looked at different carriers and their options, some estimates, and then I got on the phone and started talking to some people at these companies. And that really helped me build some relationships to where next time I've got to ship some stuff out, I've got a quick call and a quick number, and I can get to a client quickly. They're not waiting 4 days for me to hear back from a trucking company. So getting stuff out quickly and efficiently is a really big deal. But the answer to this is there is no answer. It really comes down to what do you do? So I know in the article this month and also in this video, it's going to seem like I'm really just creating more questions. That's the goal. I want you to start asking these questions. I can't ask you for you. You got to do it. So you've got to start asking yourself this stuff. Start investigating what your logistics, incoming, during process, and outgoing look like. You can always ask me questions, Young Wood Bros. I am here for you. Talk to you next month.